welcome to Dolly Talk. This is Dolly. Oh, how's everybody doing? Got a different type of show we're gonna try today, see how it goes. But how you doing, Mads and Justin? Hope you're well. People are just starting to come in. Oh, so what are we doing? We are going to be covering Judge David Fleischer today. His courtroom, he is a tad eccentric. Not sure completely how I feel about him. He's kind of a dick at times. But we'll see. We'll go through it. I kind of scanned the court hearing, so I have an idea of what's going to come up, and we can go from there. Hey, Rachel and Mofka. How you guys doing? Alrighty.
Allen, charged with interference with duties of a public servant. This case is now 378 days old. You have been given PR bond after PR bond.
I lost my papers at the court.
Stop. Please don't say anything. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. I don't think we've even done probable cause in this thing. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning. On November 28, 2023, officer was dispatched to a meet firefighter response call and met with the defendant's mother, who reported to the fire department that she was pushed by her son. The complainant did not feel pain when she was pushed, and the officer was advised that the defendant was locked inside the bathroom. When the defendant walked out of the bathroom, he walked past the officer and stated that he was leaving. The officer grabbed the defendant by his right wrist to detain him for a family violence investigation, and he forcefully pulled his right arm.
Now, this one was from the 10th, I believe. So it'd be Monday or Tuesday. I will say it's kind of interesting, the number of domestics I noticed in today. So I don't know if it's higher than usual. I mean, it was like Thanksgiving and we got Christmas coming up. So, yeah. And yeah, half Irish, hope everything's okay. Mufka. Hey, Johnny. How you doing?
Away from the officer. A second officer pushed the defendant onto a bed to detain him. So the defendant sat up and stated, "I will punch you," and then swung at the second officer with a closed fist, but did not make.
Sir, I wouldn't advertise to the police what you're about to do. Just saying.
Contact. The defendant then ran out of the sliding glass patio door and onto a third floor balcony, where he jumped over the third floor balcony and fell to the ground below, got up and ran away. Approximately 50 minutes later, the defendant was located at a park inside the apartment complex, and the defendant was taken into custody.
Wait, he jumped from a third floor balcony? And he was fine? Jeez, dude.
All right, Mr. Alley, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with you. How old are you, sir?
Someone drank his milk as a kid.
Nah.
What do you do for a living?
Stay at home, cook food.
You here with anyone today?
Hey,
Are you
Fractal.
here with anyone today?
Yes,
Coming up, Mom.
Aw. Let's bring your mom to court day.
Thank you so much for coming. It's okay. Thank you so much for coming. Tell me what's going on with Mr. Alley.
He's intellectual.
Shh.
He's as an intellectual. He's learning. He also has diagnosis.
Okay. Are you taking medication, Mr. Alley? Is he taking it? Are you sure?
I'm the one is his caretaker, which is I take his medicine. I take him to a psychiatrist too. He goes regular.
Okay.
Marquise, did you tell him that?
I don't know. He's going out there main song.
We have a lot of problems. We can't get him to court. I'm here. I'm glad that you're here today, but it's the third time.
I had a transportation.
But I scored him. I really
By
speak
time
to
today?
him on all his, for as his diagnosis, everything that's going on with him. I mainly speaks for him because he can't speak for himself. So
Okay.
I'm the one talks for him.
Okay. Did you graduate from high school?
Yes.
Wonderful. So what are your plans now?
Judge sounded surprised.
Okay. Then what? Okay. I'll appoint you guys a lawyer today. The only thing I'm going to ask you, Mr. Ali, don't use marijuana. Don't use illegal drugs.
Don't use that
I'd like to send him
marijuana.
for a test now to make sure he's not using. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send him for a drug test right now,
Hold
and I'm going to
on.
have him come
Wait
back.
a minute.
Then I'm going to have you guys speak with a lawyer, and we'll figure out how to go forward.
Right.
Do not miss court anymore.
Because he on medication. They be telling him, don't take, because I be praying, he don't, because he upset the medication.
I want to know now
It
if he's.
affects your mental will.
I'm sending you for a drug test now, Mr. Ali. I'm telling you, no smoking marijuana. Do you understand?
Yeah.
If you do, we will have It's okay. All I want you to know is that we're going to work on making you into the best person that you can. But that can't happen if you're smoking marijuana. It's absolutely no. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I'm going to send you for a drug test now. I want you to come back. If you come back, good things will happen. I promise. We're not here to hurt you. We're only here to help you. And I have a ton of resources for you. But you got to come back. That's how it works. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to have you do, guys, just hang tight, take a seat. I'm going to have you speak with Felicia for a moment. We'll send you for a drug test and then come back. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sending you for a drug test and then I'm going to have you come back.
Okay.
Take the test and come back. Do you have any questions? Okay. Mom, if you want to accompany him, that'd be great.
Yes, I am.
And then we'll just see you back here in maybe like
Make sure
30
he
minutes.
came today, so to see what's going on.
Yeah,
With him.
take care of you. Don't worry, but just come back. We need you to come back, okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Please just have a seat, Mr. Alberon.
All right, Judge, page 2, Alberon. I'll read all Marcus case.
Hey, hi, Marcos. How are you? Who we have?
Page 2, top of page 2, Alberon.
Got it. Good morning, Mr. Alberon. Sir, you were charged with illegal dumping. You were facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Judge, and the officer went to 16938 Tomball and saw newly dumped debris at the location. The officer reviewed surveillance video from a department on camera and observed a vehicle pull into the dumping site and showed debris in the bed of the truck. The video showed the truck leave and the debris was on the ground. The video was able to capture a Texas license plate, and the officer performed a search for the vehicle's owner, and the officer was able to find the registered owner of the vehicle, as well as the truck's title holder. The officer attempted to make contact with the company, and at a later time, the officer went to a residence to meet with the owners of the truck. There, the officer was met by a Hispanic male who was identified as, I apologize, Your Honor, as Freddie Alberon, and he advised.
Freddie.
Let's just hope he doesn't repeat Pee Wee's antics in a adult theater.
Yes, it says identified as actually Freddie Antonio Guevara. And this male was advised who the officer was and was shown photos of the truck he used. The male was asked to recognize the truck in the dumping. He did recognize the truck. And he was asked if the truck belonged to the company. He said yes. And he was asked who was driving the truck in question and was shown videos of the dumping to see the driver. And at that point, the male advised the person driving the vehicle is the defendant. The male then advised the defendant was not there at that point. And the officer was able to provide, or the male was able to provide a phone number for the defendant.
Does he admit that?
It says that the defendant was asked about the dumping and he admitted to dumping.
Mr. Alberon, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Tell me, are you a United States citizen, sir? Do you have a Texas driver license? CDL. You have to be very careful with that CDL. You need to understand that you are held to a very high standard with the CDL. If you don't believe me, go look. Because of the permissions you have to drive other vehicles, you are held to a higher standard. If I find that this occurs again, I'm going to take your ability to drive away. I'm not putting any conditions on your bond now, but if I find that you participate in any of these activities, any kind of reckless driving or whatnot,
dumping.
I'm going to take your ability to drive away.
CDL is a commercial driver's license. Basically, you need it to operate like 18-wheelers, drive those trucks around. But also, like, if you're just in your normal car and you get a speeding ticket, it's a big deal. You lose your license a lot faster. And hey, Evie, how you doing? Hello. Yeah, we're just doing some Zoom court. This was from 2 days ago, I believe.
Do you have liability insurance in your name? As long as you have both, you can continue to drive. Just don't pick up any new cases. You have a lawyer. Because you have a lawyer, we will waive your appearance. Stay in touch with Marcos. If he tells me he can't get a hold of you because you're playing games, we will issue a warrant for your arrest. I'll have you sign a receipt with Victoria, and then we'll have you just get out of here. All right, just take care. Okay. Thank you. Yep.
Right this way.
So no conditions.
All right, Judge, next is page 4, Araguyo William, and the co-defendant on page 21, Serrano.
Co-defendant.
Judge, is there states bond conditions on this one?
No condition. So you said, what was it first?
Page 4,
Page 4. All right, got it.
top of page 4.
So we got a cute couple here. What do you think these two crazy kids were popped for?
Good morning, guys. Guys, you were both charged with criminal cases. Mr. Arauco, you were charged with public lewdness. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. And Ms. Serrato, you were charged with possession of marijuana. You are facing, and also public lewdness. You're facing up to a year in jail on the lewdness, and you're facing up to 6 months in jail on the marijuana. Guys, we're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you. And on Arauco, he only has a one case, not the also POA, right? Okay, all right.
On December 2nd, 2024, officers were on patrol when he observed a vehicle parked on the dead end of a public roadway, and the officer observed 2 adults, the defendant, Serrato, and co-defendant Araujo, having intercourse in the backseat of the vehicle. Upon stopping the occupant, the officer observed the co-defendant's genitals being removed from the defendant's lower body as he got off her, as she was laid down in the backseat. The officer also detected a strong odor of marijuana emitting from the interior of the vehicle, and the defendant, Serrato, admitted to just having smoked along with being in possession of marijuana. She advised that all 7.6 grams of marijuana in the vehicle belonged to her, and the co-defendant stated he does not smoke marijuana. Both admitted to having sexual intercourse.
Got it. All right, guys, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to do this again outside.
Oh, you can do it inside.
Great, but not where everybody can see it. Come on. You understand?
So,
All right, guys. How old are you, Mr. Serrano or Mr. Arauco?
30.
You're 30. What do you do for a living?
Construction.
What kind of money do you make a month? Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer? How much money do you make a month? A month?
Oh, a month. Oh, 16, probably like 24,
You
30.
crazy horny kid.
It's like 3,000 probably.
Okay. Do you have children? All right. Well, we're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. Okay. I'm also ordering you as a condition of your bond not to use. No more marijuana. I'm telling you. Okay. Just don't. Also with you, no more marijuana. I'm finding probable cause in your case as well. You have the same conditions. No outside. You know what? No marijuana as well. What do you do for a living? How much money do you make a month?
I don't know if I got those numbers. I'd like one check.
Where do you work?
I work at Memorial City Mall.
Okay. Where in Memorial City?
Store gas.
Guess. Okay.
Shocked it's not OnlyFans.
Would you like to fill out an application for an appointed lawyer?
I'm sorry.
Do you want to fill out an application for a court-appointed lawyer? Okay, I'll have you fill out an application. We're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. Do not leave until both of you sign our bond conditions, and then we'll have you go. Okay, so first, you're going to meet with Victoria. We're going to have you sign a reset, and then we'll have you both take a seat in the jury box, and then we'll excuse you here momentarily. All right, please. Yes, on both of them, no marijuana, no fornicating out in public.
Fornicating out in public.
All right, Judge. Next is page 4. Bottom of page 4.
That's always a good rule.
Aris,
Ah,
come up.
Andale. Let's go. Arriba, arriba. Come on, chop, chop. I think it can be. Although it probably won't be that bad, but
You now have picked up a new case, Mr. Arispe. You now stand charged with terroristic threat over a family or a household member. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Officer was dispatched to a residence in response to a family disturbance. The complainant, the defendant's stepmother, stated
good. Another domestic squabble. Just in time for the holidays.
that the defendant was upset because he was owed money. The defendant told other members of the complainant's family, if they don't have my money by tonight, I'm going to kill them, as well as I'm going to send my people to shoot them up.
Oh, whoa.
The defendant also
Oh, sir. I'm sorry. That is just piss poor money collection skills. You don't kill the person you're trying to get money from. You knock them around a little. You threaten to beat up their mother. You got to assert yourself, but if you kill them, then you don't get anything. I mean, that's just cutting off your nose to spite your face there, bud. Come on. Expect better of you. Sad.
told the complainant directly, if you don't have my money by tonight, you are going to see. A family member of the defendant and complainant stated that he had seen the defendant walking around with a pistol in his pocket, and the complainant knows that the defendant owns several rifles as well.
Is that a pistol in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
You were on bond for unlawful carrying of a weapon. Did we order him not to have one?
Yes, Judge.
Regardless, you picked up a new case. What happens now is I'm going to revoke your bond in the first place, and you will stay with me. I will appoint you a lawyer today, Mr. Arispe, so we can talk about how to go forward, but I am ordering you now not to have any contact with these people. Do you understand?
But it's Christmas time. I mean, wait, you can't spend Christmas with them? That's mean.
And I'm going to tell you, you pick up a third case, I'm going to go bonkers on the bonds. Do you understand? I'm going to do everything in my power to protect this public at all cost.
Wow.
All right, goes with you. Do you mind appointing him? No? Yeah, when we get a lawyer.
Are you a sassy judge or are you a brassy judge?
Oh, Jillian? Okay, I guess when we get Jillian here, then
He knows about
she does.
by yesterday. He found it out from yesterday.
Okay, got it.
I know.
So, but he still has a PR bond on the first case. Ixnay on the PR bond.
All right, Judge, next is page 18. Patan, Daniel.
So 5,001 on that one.
For condition for stay, no contact, no weapon.
Yeah, and then I'm going to do a protective order here. We'll get Jillian
Yes, Judge.
here on the table. What page you say?
Page 18.
Correct. Mr. Patan? Sir. Sir, you're charged with driving while your license is suspended. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On December 2nd, 2024, officer were dispatched to a minor accident on Sam Houston Parkway. Upon arrival, the officer met with both parties of the accident as well as a witness. The witness advised that there were minor disturbances on scene in which a knife was brandished by the defendant who was parked across the street from the accident. The officer identified the defendant and discovered he had a mandatory suspension on his driver's license for a second DWI. And the defendant advised that he had still been driving for work. He had personal business despite having personal knowledge of the suspension. The defendant stated he was driving from San Antonio and was only waiting for his coworker who was involved in the accident.
Oh,
Does he have an open DWI right now?
Does not appear so, Your Honor. It appears that the last interview he had was in 2019 out of Bexar County. Bear County, yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Patan, I want you to understand one thing. I'm going to find that there's, so wait a second. Someone saw him driving or did the officer see him driving? Because I didn't.
He admitted that he had been driving for work. And he admitted to having personal knowledge of suspension as well.
Did anyone see him driving?
No, Your Honor, there's only the
Do we
statement.
know even when he was driving?
Loophole.
There was an accident. That's what dispatch involved. And then
Okay, so, all right, okay, so
there was an accident and then officers arrived and then they made contact with the defendant.
got it. So all this was in response to an accident that he was allegedly involved in.
Yes.
Got it. All right. So I am going to find probable cause, Mr. Patan. And no, don't. You have the right to remain silent. Exercise. I've got about a bunch of DAs here. Anything you say, they're going to use it against you. But let me make something abundantly clear to you. I'm going to have you sign with me today an affidavit.
If only this guy was Nick Recada's judge. Oh, well.
David, this is a promise that you're making to me that you're not going to drive. I don't care what is going on in your life.
Do
When
not
we
come.
mean no driving.
Do not
We
come.
mean no driving. I don't care if there's a burning building and you have to save 50 kids. Do not drive. If you do, I can have a contempt hearing facing up to 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. Do you understand? I don't care what your excuse is. You cannot justify at all any reason.
I
If you
mean,
want to drive, go get a license, get liability insurance, and then we can talk. But until that point, I will even do this. This is the number to the DPS driver's license division. If you call them, they can tell you exactly what you need to do to get your license back.
Classes now, sir.
There may be, an SR 22, you may have to do all these other things. What you need to do is call them and they can advise you, but don't drive. Do you understand?
sorry, kids. Judge said I can't save you.
Your Honor, and you have to make a correction. After reading the full news, the defendant was parked across from the accident. It was his coworker that was involved in the accident. He was parked across, Your Honor. And I do apologize. After reading the complete news, the officer wrote that the defendant was parked across the street from the accident, and he made a statement that he was waiting on his coworker who was in the accident.
No one sees him driving.
He was just parked across the street.
No, no, what, really?
He made the statement that
I get it.
he was in the vehicle and he made the statement.
I took a shower today. No, you just make a statement. I mean, no, there's no proof,
To having knowledge of the suspension, and he was in the vehicle parked across the street.
but no one sees him driving.
He did make a statement.
No. All right. I'm going to find no probable cause. Sir, be careful.
It's enough for a
We have enough.
DUI.
I understand.
All we're asking you to do is follow the law. It's really not hard. Give them a call. They can tell you exactly what you need to do. That's the way we do things, right? All right, sir. Just hang tight for me, okay? Thanks.
Judge, that's it for now. Before reset.
Hey, good morning.
Come on down.
And Alex, thank you for, that's great. It's
I'm
serious.
here on I'm sorry. I'm here on a racing case. Daniel Flores, his appearance was waived. I'm having the same old trouble I've been having with the video downloads. It'll allow me to see one. And from then on, it tells me, and I don't care if I come back 3 weeks later, it's still downloading and you
I've
can't.
had that problem as well.
It's
So you're saying you can't see the body cams?
just weird. So I'm going to see the clerk about it. I can't get the people at the IT desk to even talk to me. So
Who's your client?
his name is Daniel Flores. State about it. I'm going to bring in a disc for a pump drive and show on the road here. But he does, the arresting officer does say.
Your
on-
case is only 58 days old anyway.
I know.
It's not a big deal, whatever you need. I was anticipating it was going to be like 180. I mean, really, Mr. Lee, whatever you need.
I have to let the cover get
It's
that.
not a big deal.
Okay.
Other than that, is discovery complete? And do you have an offer on the case, Alex?
Yes, Your Honor. There's a time served offer on the case as well as discovery is complete.
That's it? The time served?
Yes, yes, the time served offer.
Let me see. Okay,
Fine.
just, whatever you need, really. It's only 58 days, so.
I don't think my client hired me to sell him down the river. So, okay, thank you.
Gotcha. Of course, Mr. Lee. Counsel, you ready?
The VA just stepped back, Judge, so I'm waiting on the VA.
Okay, you want me to go grab Ramona?
Yes, please.
Okay,
Ramona.
Ramona,
Get your ass in here, Ramona. Come on.
you don't want to stay back and do it? You want to? Okay.
Make any offers?
I saw about the Deterville, Pretoria.
Mitigation? Yeah.
So I will issue the warrant today and then right back. And then we'll keep at it, you know? Yeah, he's right there. I don't know. Who's the state?
Good morning, Judge. I'm just waiting for the state, but this is just a practical question. I have some exhibits I wanted to move to admit.
Okay.
I have 3 copies of the exhibits.
Have you shown it to the state?
I emailed the state.
Ms. Alba, I believe.
Yes. We're just waiting on Ms. Saba.
Sure. Is Saba's case? Is Saba?
Ms. Saba.
Okay. She's also seen the exhibits?
Yes.
Okay.
But
Great.
she's on a phone call right now. She wanted to talk to me briefly before we approach.
Take your, there's no rush.
All right, thank you.
No rush.
Okay, so this goes a little while. I'm going to skip ahead.
And even he said,
Well, hold on. We need to go on the record.
I mean-
Really, it's for me.
it's a first for the ice.
Myself if necessary. I'm gonna just.
So it looks like his client was out on bond, but then got picked up by ICE. And yes, is facing deportation, and they're trying to get him to court. And ICE, like most federal government agencies, doesn't really care what the states want. So they're trying to like go back and forth with that.
My camera on, so.
They were able to get his client on the Zoom link.
This is a first for me.
It's a first for the ice supervisor I just spoke to as well.
Wow.
This is,
Wow.
I don't.
Mr. Feldman, that's some good work, man.
I'm an
Great job.
immigration attorney, Judge, so I mean, and I'm a salaried employee.
You have to talk to him.
Really great job.
So I just mean, if I wasn't a salaried employee, maybe it wouldn't be worth my time. I think that's an issue.
But representation is representation, doesn't matter, you know? Really, at the end of the day, everyone is,
I don't believe that. I mean, I spoke to the ice supervisor and even he
Was it Tom Homan?
said,
well, hold on. We need to go on the record. Sorry, Ms. Saba, give me a second. Are you ready, Ramon? Okay.
Order in the court, going on the record.
So, Mr. Feldman, what's the last name again?
Carl, we're on the record.
Have a seat, please.
Oh,
Thank you. What's his last name again?
This is Cesar Moises Gabriel Perez. I think it's listed as Moises Perez on the.
Moises Capriel Perez, Judge.
we'll just call him Captain.
Yeah, okay, let me have that,
Okay, it's
please.
529290.
Okay, all right, sorry, let's go on the record. All right. We are on the record. It is cause number 252-9290. Today is December 10th, 2024. It's approximately 9:44 in the morning. Parties, I'd like you to announce yourselves for purposes of the record, please.
Ooh, that's a
Beginning
process.
with state.
ADA Rojette Saba and ADA Kelsey Siegler here for the state.
And this is Noah Feldman on behalf of the defendant Cesar Moises Perez.
Okay. You requested this hearing, so I'm going to let you start.
Okay, Judge. Well, before I start, I have 10 exhibits. I sent it to the chief last night, and I believe she forwarded it to Ms. Saba. I moved to admit those exhibits, tender them to the state for any objection.
And Your Honor, we would need significant time to look over these because we haven't been able to do so since they were.
Yeah, I have 10 exhibits. It's quite a bit. I get,
If I may. The first exhibit is the ICE detainer. It was in Harris County possession. The second exhibit is the magistrate order in which the state requested an $1,000 bond, which my client posted. The third exhibit is basically an ICE form you can get off the internet. It's a stay of removal form that ICE allows people with final orders of removal to apply for stays of removal that allow them to stay in the country for a limited time and limited purpose. So what I just offer this to show that. I mean,
is this his or is this just?
I'm pretty sure in a month or so that the limited purpose is going to get a lot more limited and the time is going to get a lot more shorter.
A generic one?
generic.
Okay,
Exhibit 4 is going to be just proof that he's in ICE custody. It's a print off the ICE.
that's 4.
Exhibit 4.
Okay,
Exhibit 5 is the bond condition violation report. Exhibit 6 is from the DA portal, just showing the release time from the jail to prove that he was released to ICE. Exhibit 7 is the cash bond that defendant's wife posted. Exhibit 8, to be honest, is unnecessary.
Okay.
To withdraw Exhibit 8. Exhibit 9 is a sample order of supervision you can get off the internet. It's just standard ICE form. And Exhibit 10 are this court's procedures that are available on its website about failure to appear and non-appearance. Those are the 10 exhibits.
So for purposes of the defendant, so record, I want to make it clear that Mr. Feldman has his computer, and it looks like I can see the defendant there, and it looks like he can look at us as well, but there's no translator. So does he understand what's going on?
That is correct, Judge. I do not believe he understands what is going on.
Well, then,
So now state, how do you respond to the exhibits?
okay.
Judge, I did not get these exhibits until my chief forwarded them to me while I was in docket earlier this morning. I'm going to need time to review these. I'm not an immigration attorney, so I'm unfamiliar with these documents. I would ask for at least a day just to, or I mean, if you don't want to roll it to tomorrow, just like an hour or so I can read through it.
Sure, of course.
And that's
And we did speak, or
I spoke to the ICE supervisor, Judge, the one handling his ICE case. His name is Jeff Hudson. I relayed defense's requests for an order of supervision, and the officer said, he declined the request. He said that there would be no way that they would release defendant given that he is a flight risk and his assault charge makes him a community risk as well. He also advised that the defendant has been deported before. He advised that the only way to get the defendant over to this court is if you issue a bench warrant, and then they would review that warrant and decide whether or not they would transport him over here, which is what I advised defense before. He also said that we can try to work out the possibility of the defendant giving a virtual plea, but in terms of them releasing him.
But we need a thumbprint. I need a thumbprint. I need his signature.
Yes, Judge.
There's no translator there for him now.
Yes, Judge. He also did say that the officer did also tell me respectfully that we don't really have jurisdiction to litigate this immigration issue.
Sure. What you want is you do not want me to revoke his bond.
That is correct, Judge.
You want me essentially to hold this case open. He's going to get deported, right?
That is my understanding.
Essentially, what you want me to do is you want me to hold his case open indefinitely.
Judge, if I may.
Okay.
Look, to me, for this court to revoke its bond based on these circumstances, I'd like to constitutionalize the objection. I think it would be, a violation of equal protection, procedural due process. I think it'd be a violation of Section 11 of the Texas Constitution, which say that all prisoners shall be bailable. Section 13, which say that excessive bail shall not be required. Section 19, which says that no citizen of this state, I don't think they mean U.S. citizen, shall be deprived of liberty, which this would be doing by revoking his bond, without due course of the law of the land. Now, the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure is very clear. When a defendant has once given bail for his appearance, he shall not be required to give another bond. That's 17.09 paren 2. This defendant, all he has done is posted the bond that the state requested, which is in Exhibit 2, which back after the ICE hold, the state requests a $1,000 bond for the defendant. Defendant posted the bond, and without any volition on his own, gets taken into ICE custody. I think you would agree with me, Judge. The state has the burden to prove a bond violation. There is a bond violation report. I think we should all agree there's been no bond violation because he had no ability to get an ignition interlock. He had no ability to report to pretrial. So the only exception to this one bond are the following. If the bond's defective, there's no defective in the bond. If the bond is excessive, nobody's arguing the $1,000 bond was excessive. If the bond is insufficient in amount, which is very broad, but I want to make clear that there is no amount of bond, as Ms. Saba just said, that can guarantee that my client can attend court. There's no amount. We could set him at $1 million bond. So I don't think insufficient in amount is correct. The only other catch-all is good and sufficient cause. Now, I did some case law research on good and sufficient cause, and these are new or changed circumstances from which the court can conclude that some cause exists for revoking a bond and setting a different bond. Now, as I said, the only bond that this court could set that would guarantee my client comes to court would be a bond that is impossible for him to post, right? Because any postable bond, he would have no control in getting to court. Now, ICE, if I may, Judge, I understand what Ms. Saba relayed that the ICE officer said, but I can tell you that 8 CFR section 241.5 allows ICE to release anyone on an order of supervision if they're subject to a final order of removal. If you look at Exhibit 1, the ICE detainer, it says that if you need this subject to remain in the United States for law enforcement purposes, you can call this number at 802-588, oh, sorry, that's the wrong number,
Come on, get it together, bud.
872-6020. And ICE can consider whether the law enforcement purposes are serious enough to keep the person in the country. Now, I think it would be punitive to take away $1,000 from somebody who posted a bond that this court affirmed that the state requested and say, I'm taking away your $1,000 because of actions completely out of your control, actions that are being taken by a third party.
So if I bench warrant him back here, then nothing will happen to that then, right?
A bench warrant is a revocation of bond. Because if you bench warrant him, basically you're asking the sheriff to go get him, or you're asking ICE to bring him. ICE has already told Ms. Saba, we're not bringing him. The sheriff, if they go recover him.
No, they haven't said they said they were going to think about it, that they were going to look at it. They didn't say that they weren't going to.
Well, then let me clarify, Judge. If you want to bench warrant and be clear in that bench warrant that this is not a revocation of bond, I have no objection to that bench warrant. It's my opinion.
You had an objection last time to the bench warrant.
I have thought about it some more, Judge. If you bench warrant him, but there's no revocation of bond, I have no objection.
Well, then we're all happy.
But
Are you happy with that?
Yes, Judge, I'm
Great.
fully deferring to you.
Let's do it.
then let me say one more thing, Judge. I would request that on that bench warrant, it be clear this is not a revocation of bond. And let me tell you what.
Go ahead.
Because if you issue a bench warrant and there's no revocation of bond, the sheriff's office is not going to recover the body, because upon recovery of the body, they're going to have to release the body. And ICE could always, while he's in ICE custody, bring him, respect the court's bench warrant and bring him to the courthouse. I mean, I think he'd be in civil detention the whole time. I don't think they can put him back there.
Sure they
But
can.
I
They can.
I don't think they can.
Every
make
time we
someone
bench warrant them, they go right back over there.
because they're in county custody by that point. But what I'm saying is ICE can keep him in their custody, which is civil administrative detention, and bring him to court if they so choose. Now,
Try.
they can try. They can try to do that. But I would just please ask this court, because I've seen it on.
I won't revoke it now, but let me ask you this.
Yes,
I'm supposed to be fair.
Yes, Judge.
I can't show favoritism, right?
Of course, Judge.
If I were to essentially, if he gets deported and I never revoke his bond, where have you ever heard that happening before? Doesn't that show favoritism toward you?
How would that show favoritism?
Because I'm doing something and I'm allowing your client to remain on bond for eternity when I've never done that with anyone else. Essentially, he's on bond for DWI. He doesn't have to comply with any conditions, no matter where he is, whether he's in Abu Dhabi, whether he's in Africa, whether he's in Mexico, whether he's in Guadalajara. He's supposed to not consume alcohol. He's supposed to be monitored. He's supposed to have an interlock. And thereby, I'm saying, okay, here, look, you don't have to do any of these conditions. Everybody else does, but not you, Mr. Moises Perez.
disagree.
You are so.
I disagree, Judge, and here's why. The state of Texas works very closely with the Department of Homeland Security. The state of Texas, if they want to continue him on bond, which is their choice, because they want to continue the prosecution, they don't want to dismiss and refile, they can always put in a request that he be paroled back into the country for the prosecution, subject to the bond conditions. If you don't think that my client wants to remain in the country and follow your conditions, you are incorrect. We requested release from ICE. We requested that he be able to follow the court's conditions and abide by every single thing you put in that order.
You're apples and oranges. No, it's the point is that he's allowed to remain free on a DWI. Everyone else in our court has to follow a certain set of conditions, yet he's not going to have to follow those.
He should have to follow them.
And Judge,
There's no supervision.
If there's proof
How
of
can I
him.
drug test him?
No, well,
Judge,
How does he do the
then that's
interlock?
the solution.
it I think he's trying to, well, we'll see what he's kind of doing when they get back to him later.
Solution is either we're.
No. I'm going to bench warrant him. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is that it's not fair. I have to be fair to the state and I have to be fair to you. And I can't show favoritism. And I think that if I were to let him pass indefinitely without revoking the bond, if I were to, we're going to bench warrant now this is theory, right? As a practical matter, I'm going to bench warrant him here for you. But in theory, right, wouldn't it show favoritism? I think it does. Because I'm allowing you and your client to do something that I don't allow anyone else to do.
But wouldn't it be the opposite if you were to take $1,000 from him that he lawfully posted at the request of the state and this court at no fault of his own? I also think that's unprecedented.
I get it, but he's in this country. The right way to do things is you ask for permission, you come here.
Judge, that's completely irrelevant.
Well, no, it's not. You must follow the law, period.
But
And when you don't, there are consequences.
Judge, he was given the $1,000 bond at the state's request after we knew he had a final order.
I just wanted you to see it from my perspective. That's it, right? I'm going to bench warrant him for you. I'm not going to revoke the bond. We'll try to get him here for you. If for some reason at that point they don't, We'll cross that bridge when we get there, but we'll try to bench warrant. Did you want to add anything?
Yes, Judge. The officer Hudson did advise me that if you issue a bench warrant, if you want to send me a copy of that, I can email it to him directly, and as well as through whatever routes the court does it as well. But I can email it to him directly this morning if you do that.
That's incredibly expeditious, because I tell you what, that it doesn't happen. You know what I mean? And it's literally when we issue a bench warrant, it takes a while to get to the appropriate person. It takes forever for them to think. It takes 3 months to bench warrant. So this is really expeditious.
I provided all the information, contact information for the ICE officers.
Judge,
Great.
actually,
So that helps, Mr. Feldman, you know?
Judge, just to clarify, the officer that defense tried getting me in touch with was not in charge of this case. Upon sending a message to that officer, he connected me to the supervising officer for this case.
Good job to both of you guys. You both did good. The idea.
He just rolled his eyes, I think. I don't know if there's a way to zoom in. Just pay attention to his eyes here. When she's like, well, the officer he put me in touch with wasn't his case agent. That case agent had to then go and get me the correct one. Yeah.
Was not in charge of this case. Upon sending a message to that officer, he connected me to the supervising officer for this case.
He just
Good
rolled
job
his eyes.
to both of you guys. You both did good. The
I would
idea
ask to be CC'd on all communications.
Sure, of course.
Yes,
Everything's transparent here. No one hides anything. And I don't do the bench warrant. Usually Victoria does it, so I don't know the protocol to it. But
there's
that,
communication.
so whenever I guess when you send it via email, just if you don't mind CCing him.
Yes, sir. We always CC. Yes, sir.
So,
Of course,
yeah.
Judge.
You're happy with that?
Yes, Judge, as long as there's no
You're happy
revocation.
too?
Yes, Judge.
Wonderful.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
Judge.
Makes it for such a great,
Thank you. I appreciate it, Judge.
off the record.
So they're going to come back in like an hour. I'll skip forward to that part because it's a little bit longer. So he comes back on Zoom.
I'm just trying to get my video.
Okay, take your time. What's going on?
Okay, I apologize. I forgot to get the case reset. So your coordinator called me.
That's okay.
About that.
I was going to set it off around 2 weeks, just to give or
Okay.
take.
My only concern is that, my biggest issue was that there be no bond revocation. I'm thinking about this logically. If you bench warrant him without a bond revocation, if the sheriff recovers the body, they should have to release the body because he's on bond.
No. He has an ICE detainer. He cannot leave custody. He will continually be in custody from one time until he gets here. At no point are they ever going just to release him in the free world.
I understand, Judge, but what the sheriff is going to say is they're going to say we need a capias, and the capias can only issue if there's a bond revocation.
What leads you to that?
Body is in person, not like dead, but like habeas corpus is let me get the exact definition. It's Latin for a writ requiring a person under arrest to be brought before a judge or into court. The literal meaning of habeas corpus is you should have the body. So that's just kind of what they mean.
Conclusion.
Because I've seen it in other cases. Or
I will tell you that every time I have bench warranted someone here, we either get them or we don't. I have never had someone released when they have an ICE detainer.
I don't think he'll be released, but I guess my point is, let's say you bench warrant him. He's posted bond already, right? So he gets put in the county jail. He's on bond.
He still has the ICE detainer.
Right, I understand. But when you post bond with an ICE detainer, you can be held for up to 48 hours. So basically, you would be authorizing the sheriff's office to take custody of him for 48 hours maximum, right? Because he already has a bond.
No.
Explain that to
his
me.
body, and he will stay with us here.
It feels like this guy is trying to work some shady deal to where he can get him into the sheriff's custody without a warrant for his arrest, and then go to the sheriff and be like, I want him now released because he doesn't have a warrant. And ICE already released custody to you. So it feels like he's just trying to do some kind of shady loophole to get the guy out.
Here until we do something with the case.
But his bond isn't revoked.
Correct. I can do one of two things. I can either bench warrant or I can revoke the bond. It is duplicitous to do both. So typically we do one or we do the other. I'm just going to bench warrant him back here. They're going to send the bench warrant to the person at immigration. Hopefully that will expedite the process, but I don't know how long it'll be. But if they bring Mr. Perez back, we should get him back here and we will talk with him the next business day.
Are you able, so the.
I think you're overthinking this, Mr. Feldman.
Judge, I'm looking at the code, right? 1503 gives you the authority to bench warrant, right?
What do you want me to do?
I don't want the bond revoked.
I'm not revoking the bond. I reset the case so as to not revoke the bond. All I did was issue a bench warrant. One, there are two vehicles to get Mr. Perez back here to us. One is a bench warrant and one is a revocation of bond. Both achieve the same purpose, which is getting the body back here. You asked me to do the one, so that's what we're doing, as a courtesy to you. I'm not revoking the bond. It will remain intact. We will get his body and he'll just be here and
so
waiting for us to do whatever we're going to do.
Will he be held at no bond?
No, he'll just be here, held at the $1,000 bond, saying bond made, but the ICE detainer keeps him here.
But the ICE detainer is only valid for 48 hours.
Not that I've seen. We have people here that sit here months on an ICE detainer.
Your Honor, the detainer itself says so. They sit there months on the ICE detainer because they haven't posted bond.
I don't know what to tell you, Mr. Feldman. I don't know what to tell you. But as soon as we get him, we'll try to do what we can. Hopefully we don't get him on a Saturday. I don't know.
Can you put something in the bench warrant that specifically says bond is not revoked?
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to reach out to my staff lawyer to figure out what kind of implication that would be. I don't know. But I'm telling you, I'm not revoking the bond. I don't know what else I can tell you to give you assurance that I'm not revoking,
Okay, so when he comes back into custody, it's going to say bond
We'll
made.
try to, yeah, it's still.
I mean, these prosecutors are very young. Hold on, sorry, I thought my cat was on my computer. These prosecutors are young, and I don't think it takes them a while to catch on to realize he's trying to work some angle.
I'm going to say bond active. It'll still say everything that it says now. We've done it many times. Never had an issue. They either give us the body or they don't. It just depends on what ICE does, because sometimes they follow it, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they just go ahead and deport.
There's no way ICE doesn't let them out on bond, is there? Yeah. But don't worry, they will give them a cell phone so they can check in. I guess that's for the amnesty. They come to the border and be like, oh, Mista, I'm oppressed. And yeah. So they just get released, and it's on the honor system that they come and show up for court.
I've seen it both ways.
And Judge, when I spoke to his officer this morning, the one handling the ICE case, he told me whenever they receive bench warrants, they don't always,
Comply.
They don't always comply. With this, I can speak to him and try to get him here, but at the end of the day,
First, no.
they're going to do
But first, talk to your superiors to see, is that going above and beyond? Because I don't want you to do anything that's going to get you in trouble.
That's true.
Remember? So
And that's what I was
always
trying to tell
consider, before you because that's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't want you to do anything that's going to get you in trouble, because you have certain boundaries and certain things that you got to do as well, like I and like him. So we'll give you a copy of it.
Okay.
Reach out to your people and see, hey, is this okay? If so, then yeah, send it, right?
Okay.
And then attach Mr. Feldman so that we're all on the same page. And hopefully that, if you can, that'll expedite everything. Regardless, we're going to send the bench warrant regardless. But with you guys and with the intervention, if you can, hopefully that'll expedite everything, and hopefully they will comply with it. Because and I'll tell you, Mr. Feldman, I have no idea why they comply when they do and why they don't comply when they do. I don't know. I don't, no one has ever told us either way why they do or they don't. I just don't know. We'll do everything we can to try to get them back. If we can, wonderful. If not, we'll cross that bridge and we'll do what we can when we get there.
And Judge, will in terms of the issuance of the bench warrant and the communications with the sheriff, will you also CC defense counsel on that?
When you send the bench warrant, who do you send it to?
So I generate it and give it to the clerk. The clerk sends it into different drop boxes and images.
So you don't CC any, you don't like email it. No, there's a certain process that they have when they send the bench warrant. They don't email it. There's a Dropbox that they do. So there's really no way to attach you to that. If they email it to the person, then the DAs can attach you. But with the actual here filing of it, there's no way to attach you. It goes to like a Dropbox of some sort.
If I can just say one last thing, Judge, and I know I'm being annoying and I'll leave.
Mr. Feldman, we have thick skin. You're not annoying. You're doing your job, and I'm not going to begrudge you for doing it.
Okay. What I would guess is that in cases where you bench warrant and the person's sitting in jail waiting for the hearing, my guess is that the sheriff has revoked bond.
Sheriff cannot revoke a bond, Mr. Feldman.
I agree with you, Judge. I agree.
They can't.
But I'm just saying that when you're in jail and you post bond and you have an ICE detainer, the county can hold for 48 hours. And you're telling me that you see it.
When we bench warrant them back, it's different. When we bench warrant them back, we will get them and they'll stay here. And I'm telling you that from the experience that we've had.
Right, I understand. But I'm just saying, if he gets bench warranted back and he has a valid bond, I'm going to go to the sheriff's office and I'm going to tell them that y'all have 48 hours to keep him on the detainer because he can't be held at no bond.
Well, then I'm going to revoke his bond, Mr. Feldman. I mean, if you're telling the sheriff's office to go release him, then I'm going to revoke his bond because that's what it sounds like you're trying to do.
It's not, Judge. It's not. What I want is no bond revocation.
Okay, don't overthink it. You're perhaps maybe putting fuel on a fire. I don't know. I don't know what you want. But we're going to follow a process that we've always done. I'm not going to deviate from it, right? We do things a certain way. That's it. I'm not going to do anything special for your guy that I wouldn't do to anyone else in the entire.
So he is trying to get past the 48 hours so the ICE detainer is no longer valid. So then he can just be released on the streets. Seems like Feldman's supervisor should have coached him better. There's a process and he should have taught him. It feels like he's doing it intentionally, trying to game the system. I mean, I'm all for lawyers doing, approaching the line, but you don't want to just flat out admit that's what you're doing.
World. I'm going to follow the law and I'm going to continue the way that I see that it should be done. And the way is we either revoke or we issue the bench warrant. We're going to try to get the body back. If for some reason someone releases him or whatnot, we'll deal with that, how that happens. But, much more than that, I can't tell you. I don't know they're either going to give him to us or they're not going to give him to us. And that's it.
Yes, Judge.
I mean, if you're telling me that you're going to go to the sheriff's office and demand that they release him within 48 hours, I got to go upstairs and talk to a couple people to see how to go forward on this thing. Because I don't know. It's a new one to me,
And Judge, at that point, the state would ask that we revoke the bond if that's what defense is planning to do. I mean, we agree with you.
Then let's just see what happens, Judge.
Judge, we're going to need.
I have a feeling that you're now going to the sheriff's office to demand his release within 48 hours of recovery.
And Judge, this is putting us in a compromising position as well, because if this is what defense is planning to do, we need to let ICE know. We may need to do that. I need to check with my superiors.
I don't have a problem with letting ICE know.
What?
I don't know what to do here, Judge. I thought we were doing the no, revoking the bond as a favor to defense.
Prosecutor is so annoyed right now. He's just jerking them around.
Defense, because this isn't customary when we issue a bench warrant. But if defense is going to, in a way, abuse that to get him released, then the state is taking issues with that.
I do too.
Judge, I wouldn't be abusing it.
I mean, if that's what you're going to do, I'm going to end up revoking the bond, I guess, because I think that you're trying to go behind our backs. It's, I really.
Well, Judge, why don't we do this? Why don't we do the bench warrant as needed? And if they've recovered the body, then we'll have another hearing, obviously, to figure out what we're going to do. I'm not going to go behind the court's back, but
Mr. Feldman, let me tell you something that you need to be careful what you do. There is a fine line between zealously advocating for your client and doing something that either breaks the law.
Oh, looky here. Hey,
Your stupid software made me verify my presence.
I'm sorry. Well, at least we know you're official now. Have you been following along?
I've been trying to, but then your stupid software made me verify my presence.
Oh.
So I lost track. Sarah says hi.
Aw, hi, Sarah.
Where's Babu?
Oh, he's licking himself on the couch.
Oh, you know how that feels, don't you? Yeah.
So do you know what's going on here?
No, hang on. Are we still on the one where there's like, he's trying to argue that he can have bond in another country?
He's trying to do some shady stuff where he's trying to basically get his client out of ICE immigration control into the
What's ICE?
sheriff's.
I want to ask what that was. What's that?
Yeah, immigration.
That's ICE.
Who goes around and kicks you out. So then he is in the sheriff's control, but he doesn't have a warrant now because he's on bond. So after 48 hours in sheriff's control, he can then be released because he's like doing technicalities between ICE rules, sheriff rules, and the courts.
Okay, so the defense attorney's trying to play games and get
Big time.
good on him.
And the judge is going to kind of slap him down here. He's being very shady about it.
I like a bushy-tailed young defense attorney try to get his defendant off. Is it actually an American though? Like, or is it?
No, it's he's not an American. He's not a citizen. He's going to be deported.
Okay, and what did he do?
Assault, I believe.
Mm.
And then when he was on bail, he was picked up by immigration.
Okay. Well, he's just trying his luck. Good for him.
Oh.
The defense attorney, I mean.
Yeah.
Figure out what we're going to do. I'm not going to go behind the court's back, but
Mr. Feldman, let me tell you something that you need to be careful what you do. There is a fine line between zealously advocating for your client and doing something that either breaks the law, is unethical, that could get you in potential trouble. You need to be very careful. You really do. There's a fine line. I've seen a lot of lawyers get in trouble, and I'm just counseling you as, I guess, as a friend, but I get that you're zealous, but just be careful.
Yes, Judge. I promise you I'm going to follow the code and I'm going to follow the rules of ethics.
Did you see him look to the side then?
Yeah.
Are you still planning at this point?
There's some coppers out there.
No, I think
Are
his
they coming to
boss
get me?
was probably looking over his shoulder, like, "What did you do?"
Is the judge admonishing you again? Is it a different judge this time? What judge is admonishing you now, you little upstart?
Yeah, I'm thinking that might be the reason Mads is he's getting a lot of, can't select it here, because he's so young that he's getting some leeway.
Maybe he's just got a baby face. Maybe he's 45.
That could be.
He's been doing this his whole career.
Do a bench warrant without revoking the bond?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
And then
We'll see what happens. We'll see. We'll let it play out.
Jimmy, you suck
we're all
at
adults.
this.
We'll see how it pans out. You do what you think is right, and we'll just go from there.
okay, Judge. Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
All right. You got it, Mr. Feldman.
May I be excused?
Oh, hey, Rachel. Good to see you here.
Oh, that was funny. I wanted to show the whole like saga of Noah the lawyer playing games. So let's go back to
His boss leaning over him, waiting to smack him over the head for not playing enough better. I think he's like, you've got one more chance.
Yeah.
That's it. Right? Don't upset the judge anymore, especially the one with the red bow tie.
Yes.
We like the one with the red bow tie.
Any intensive outpatient. And either way, we're going to have to, just get through the holidays and do something, but it's going to be one of those two. And it's ultimately which one you'll kind of bless.
I don't know. Should we do a TRAS?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Holland, come up.
You get the TRS and I recommend that this is here.
This is why we do this beforehand. You know what I mean?
What?
This. So we know exactly what to expect, Yeah. I don't know, Tad, why? I mean, we have you evaluated by clinicians for a reason. These people know what they're doing. They've done it 100 times. And they know the best way to move forward with a case. That's why we do it. I cannot tell you how many times we've done a TRAS, we've deviated from what they say, and then we end up in a worse position because something happens. Now, I know you're going to tell me everything is little bunnies jumping in the woods, but you can never anticipate in life what's going to happen. And the problem is how do you deal with the stressors that come in life? Because that's what really defines a person. We all have issues, we all have problems, and they always come at the worst time. But the most important thing is, how do you deal with the stresses when they come? Do you turn destructive, self-destructive? Do you turn destructive in the public, right? Where you do something to endanger the public? That's why we have this. What they're suggesting is inpatient treatment. I said, what they're suggesting is inpatient treatment.
Because you do have a job and
Yes, sir.
you have been working at this job for a while.
Yes, sir, for like a year and a half.
Right. You've been very successful at this job.
Yes, sir. I'm a supervisor.
Okay. And that's what I'm saying.
Jumping in the woods.
Even
The
before we've
problem
done
was
these
he was
things, you're
seeing too
already
many
starting
little
to turn
bunnies
things
jumping
around.
in the
Yes, sir.
woods.
And that's the kind of stuff, tell the judge how you've been turning things around. He needs to hear something to make him think that maybe, at least make him consider, outpatient rather than inpatient. Tell him, how your life has changed in the last year and a half.
Okay. Well, after I got the scram bracelet that you put on me, I knew that I knew it was like over with the games, the BS and all that stuff. And I just had to do right and do what I'm supposed to do. And I started just doing better at work because I wasn't drinking alcohol no more. Started doing.
I started streaming live trials again. I turned my life around. My 9-year-old daughter didn't have cocaine in her hair anymore. I'm really changed. Oh, no, this is the example of someone who actually turns his life around.
Better at work. They moved me up to a supervisor. It's wonderful. Started letting me manage money, invoices and stuff like that. And I just stopped hanging around the crowd of people that I was hanging around that go out and drink and party a lot. And I've just kind of been staying home or hanging out with my mom more. And,
my mom used to tell me, dime con quien andas y yo te digo quién eres. It means, tell me who you hang out with and I'll tell you who you are. And it's when you hang with dogs, you get fleas. Tad, let's do this.
Yes, sir.
So let me send him for a drug and alcohol test right now. Let's see.
Ilya!
If he's clean, I'll acquiesce. But I'm going
You might have to leave.
Why?
You've got carpet bugs. I don't want to catch your carpet bugs, mate. Oh dear.
I know.
That's so
Can't be
bad.
around me.
What a bad saying. I haven't heard that one before. When you hang with dogs, you get fleas. Oh.
I've heard it, but not in the Spanish version.
Wow. That's his Chilean accent. He's got a Chilean accent, does he?
Yeah, he's half Chilean, half Jew.
Okay.
It's kind of a weird combo, but hey, works for him.
What do you get when you cross a Chilean with the Jew? Pee Wee Herman as a judge.
Yeah.
Wow. Dear me. When you hang with dogs, you get fleas. I like puppies up until now.
Yeah.
One problem, because I don't know, I'm not agreeing to this, but I will tell you that if we do go forward with this intensive outpatient treatment and you muck up, get ready, because I don't play. So
I don't
let's
play.
send him, I'm going to send him now for a drug and alcohol test. If he's clean, I'm with you, but.
And thank you, not, that's more than fair.
Okay. All right. All right. So let's do this, Tad. Let me see if I have your cell phone so I can tell you when he comes back. Let me see.
He just
posture
asked
is
his
terrible.
client, "Are you going to be clean?"
Are you going to be clean? Oh yeah, it's fair enough.
Just
like,
So
Yes, sir.
let's
He would
send him,
not.
I'm going to send him now for a drug and alcohol test. If he's clean, I'm with you, but.
And thank you, not, that's more than fair.
Okay. All right. All right. So
be clean,
let's
right?
do this, Tad.
you're going to be clean, right?
Let me
He's
see if I have
like-
your cell phone so I can tell you when he comes back. Let me see.
Screw me over.
I don't have, do you mind? Here, give me your cell phone real quick and then just hang tight. We're going to send you and then just come right back and then I'll text him and then we'll do everything.
Where do you want me to go to the jury box?
No, you can just sit out there. Sure. Of course. This is your cell phone?
Yes.
Okay, I'll text you when he comes back.
And then whatever we're going to do, we'll reset it.
No, we'll do it today.
But if you send me the inpatient, can we get to the holiday?
I'm not going to agree. I don't know. Let's see first how he does.
Okay, well,
So let's just see. I'll text you, Kat.
state is this, Texas.
Yeah.
So is marijuana not legal at all?
No, it's legal there, I believe.
Well, how come people are being charged for it?
Unless it's just medical.
Okay.
Oh no, it's illegal for recreational use.
Okay, I suppose that's the same here.
Yeah. Actually, I'm on the strictest in the nation.
Looks like it. Yeah, I mean, those people who were shagging in the car, they got done for it.
Just the woman.
For the pot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you're on probation, you can't do it.
Weed is not legal in Texas. Not.
Okay.
And OT. This is so stupid. It's time this got sorted out. Like, it's just so readily available.
Yeah.
So dumb. It's a plant, for goodness sake.
Hi. Good morning.
Okay, you got a couple. All right, Mr. Aris pay. So I was told he was in the back.
We picked up a new case.
Yeah, but he was in jail yesterday. So he posted bail.
I guess he posted bail on the new case.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't do anything on the old case.
Okay.
So I'm going to, because not only has he picked up terrorism, but he has got a gun, allegedly.
I assume that he posted new bails on both of them. Okay. It was weird because yesterday he was still in jail because he was waiting for an ankle monitor.
If for some reason he's unable to come back and we can talk after a couple of days, but I want him to know that we mean business, right? But if he's unable to, we can talk in a bit.
And what's the new bail set at?
5,001.
5,000, okay. And then I have Joshua Jones, who's in custody.
Okay.
This was the client who was on PTI. You said his bond's at 25,000. We set it to yesterday for it to be lowered, and then Judge Salgado lowered him.
I'm okay with the 10. We'll leave it at that.
I was gonna ask, are you willing to go lower than 10? No? Okay, I'll let his family know.
Yeah. And he's got 2 open DWIs. He's got a gun. It's just.
That's it for now, but I'll be back.
Okay, thanks.
Sally, court break, we break, everyone doing nothing break. Hey Chad, how's it going? Are we ready for some Sarah? Yeah, it might, but the thing about marijuana is that people, like, you might as well take it out of the hands of the dealers and make it pharmaceutical grade. Might as well make the pharmaceutical companies rich out of it. And they do.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, nothing's happening, dude. I can't believe when nothing was happening.
Jail credit for the 7 days that you've already done. Is this what you want to do, sir?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You understand that you're pleading guilty, right?
Yes.
You understand it's going to go on your record, right?
Yes, sir.
You need to understand from now on, you are facing a minimum of 30 days in jail for any new cases that you pick up. You understand?
Yes, sir.
You give up a lot of rights by entering into this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, you cannot change this or undo this. You still want to do this?
Yes, sir.
You know, Mr. Bolden, if you come back, good things happen. It's not hard, you know?
Good things happen.
Just don't say anything now. For future reference, when you come to court, good things happen. Everybody works here is amazing. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Come back. Good things will happen for you.
Yeah.
How do you
You
plead to the
come
offense of
back,
criminal
good
trespass?
things
Guilty or not
happen.
guilty?
Guilty.
I'll find you guilty. I will follow the agreement. I'm going to roll your court costs so you won't owe anything. Good luck to you, sir.
For real?
Thanks, Carl. Sure.
I have never heard a judge say anything like that.
So
Usually they
he
say,
has
"Don't come
concerns, which
back."
I share. He made bail last week before this bond was revoked, maybe Thursday or Friday. They did not release him because he was waiting on an ankle monitor. I assume the court.
I didn't do that. That must have been the magistrate.
Oh, okay.
The magistrate probably said, hey, I want an ankle monitor on him.
I've already handled that. I told them that in the event that he case, sometimes they help to get off when they're taken in, to go to 49 to have it.
No. They kept him an extra couple days in custody because I guess they were waiting to put him, but that was the magistrate. I didn't order
Back
that.
for
Okay,
treats.
so if he makes bail
I've
now,
just seen that before now.
yeah, same, me neither. So if he makes bail now,
Edible treat.
that he
No,
doesn't.
I'm going to order. I don't want him to go back to the house.
And then they test
So
him.
does he need to, can he come back the next day for the ankle monitor, or does he have to wait in jail for the ankle monitor? He's scared that he's gonna have to wait in jail for an ankle monitor again. So he's like, I don't even know if I can post bail, if they're gonna let me out. Am I gonna get this ankle monitor?
Judge, you do want the ankle monitor? Because originally they were just stating conditions with the no contact.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, I'll just leave it as is, but he's going to have to come back for bond conditions, right?
Yes, he can come back from bond conditions.
So
He
just let him know the day he gets out. He's got to come back the next business day.
Okay, and that's exactly what happened yesterday. I told him, look, if you get out tonight, because I think I talked about it with your clerk, and she confirmed that he should be getting out tonight to come back the next day. And that's
Does he know for sure he's going to get bonded out?
he's just asking questions, so
Okay.
I think he will.
But he's got to come back the next business day.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Yeah, come on, Mr. Gibbs.
Come on up, Mr. Come on up, sir.
We got him. I can't believe it. You're harder to catch than a leprechaun, man. For real.
He's been here for a minute, Judge.
This is the first time I've seen him in like 3 years.
Oh,
Well, maybe
well, he's
2.
been here since October.
How are you?
Well, he's in jail.
You had cases, I guess, out of county. Was it Montgomery County or something like that? Where was it? Chamber. Oh, Chamber. Gotta be careful out there.
I know, they're going on the highway.
Give me the last name again, please.
Colbert.
That's right, Mr. Cole.
And he's on today's docket on the jail docket.
All right. So you just entered in these 2 probations.
Yes, sir.
Be very, very careful, because there's only so many times that they're going to bend over to help you out before they send you to prison. So you have to have a halo on your head when you're on 2 felony probations, especially for this, what you got now.
Yes, sir.
It's not hard. If you're hanging around bad people, they're going to bring you down. It's just a matter of time.
just break away. Here you're charged with failure to identify oneself as a fugitive from justice. So it's a class A misdemeanor. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement. They're offering you 30 days in jail, credit for the 118 days that you've already done. This will go on your record. You need to understand from now on, with us here in misdemeanor, any more cases that you ever pick up, you're looking at a minimum of 90 days in jail. So do you understand? So you give up a lot of rights by entering this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, they're possible. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, there's no turning back. So this is what you want to do. So how do you plead to the offense? I'll find you guilty. I'll sentence you to 30 days in jail, give you credit for the 118. If it's enhanced, abandon, please.
He's a bit dramatic. He needs to be a bit more dramatic.
If you ever have any problems, go back to the court. You're in a friendly court. They'll help you out. No issues ever.
Physical movement.
Understand? That's cool.
No turning back.
All right, let's get it. Come on.
I am hell mad and burning with great disgust.
Talk about the lane case. Judge, good morning. I'm here on the lane cases. If he's on your jail docket.
Okay. Thanks.
Oh, it's you. You're back. What a coincidence.
This is the gentleman that we had do a TRAS evaluation.
Okay.
That TRAS came back. I think it has important social history and important kind of background on Mr. Lane, but I think also creates a situation where I think the state and I would both be asking that a competency evaluation be done.
That's a store with the Eagles when you're surrounded by turkeys.
Through an outside provider, but because while he's been in custody, he's been very aggressive towards, I guess.
They don't want to do it.
And so he can't come to our facility.
As
Right in your
if
goddamn
dude's got money to
bow
pay
tie.
for an outside facility. What if I order them to do it? They have to do it. They can't refuse.
We could try it.
You know, and if you want to do comp first, okay. I don't have a problem.
Because it might be the same goal of getting the mental health treatment.
Right, I'm with you.
That.
We're on the same page. Sure.
Okay.
Is he taking medication? Is he supposed to take
He's
medication?
getting access to it in the jail. And yes, he's supposed to.
Has it changed his demeanor?
I've had good interactions with him, but what's reported in there.
Just did this I'm sure we just did this.
On the 6th.
And they said he's very polite when interviewing with him, but throughout that interview, they identified, well, there's issues with delusions and hallucinations, things like that. So.
Oh, we all get those.
How long has he been on medication when he took? Do you know?
I don't know, but I can look into it.
You know, it will be interesting to see, did they just start giving him the medication when they did this? Because sometimes it takes a minute to kick in, right? Stabilize. It may take 2, 3 days, 4 days for it to stabilize the mood.
Are you an expert? Dude, I thought you were a judge.
Regardless, I guess we're just kicking stones. Let's do the comp first.
You're kicking
We'll come back and then.
Yes.
It's 30 days though.
Well, yes, probably. For the evaluations, okay.
You know, advise him, if he's nice, things will go a lot quicker and hopefully he can understand it.
Well, he was to them, but I understand the allegations and I'm not seeing, but have heard too.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know, young.
So just file it, I'll sign it and we'll get it done.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Can I first? I'm here off docket, and I have a cause number when you're ready.
Okay.
It is
This is pretty nice.
9349. On Hunter. So
But can
he
you
was
lose
here for
his
arraignment
count?
on 11/26. He was positive for THC, meth, and some sort of opiate. I don't remember which one. But we had him come back and retest on 12/5. My understanding was that on 12/5, if all he had in his system was THC, we were going to reset him for the.
Monday. Right.
And so he came yesterday and tested, and he only had the THC.
Great. That's okay.
So do you want to keep him on the Monday, Thursday?
For the foreseeable future, and then if he can, after a while, if he's doing fine, then we can ease up, right?
Okay.
But maybe one time a week, but I mean, it's only been a week and a half.
Okay, I just thought.
Testing positive for meth, but just.
I just thought that after the second drug test, if it was only the THC, we were going to reset him for the 30, 45 days.
Not yet.
Okay, that's.
Eventually, that's the goal, but let's get there first.
Okay,
And
I just wanted to double check. Okay, thank you, Judge.
Let him know if he continues. After a while, we'll come back and then we'll modify. But I want to know that if we modify to 45 days, he's not going to just yay and go out and just.
Understood, Judge. Okay, the judge for Catherine Moises regarding the bond violation, what should I say?
Nothing. Just continue. Yeah, he's in custody, so there's no.
Hey, Erica.
Sounds good to you. Anything else? Okay. And so we're here today. I feel like everyone's
All right, I am going to jump and get Tara stream going. I will see you all over there.
I will send everybody over.
Okie dokie. Get ready for the song. I get to play the song again.
Yes.
Every time I say this is the last time I'm playing the song, it's technically the almost last time I play the song. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Yes, I was approaching on behalf of William Spencer regarding bond and bond.
Page 42. 30 days.
You're here on Peyton, you said?
William Spencer. William Spencer.
So, Alex, Mr. Spencer looks like on 9/20/24 picked up an FSGI. At the same time, looks like he also picked up 2 aggravated assaults with a deadly weapon. Is it all in one continuous car accident just gone awry? Do you mind bringing him out, please? Before, hey, hold on, Morgan. Before, let's get him out, please. Hi, Aaron. How are you? Please. You want to talk to me real quick? Yeah, of course. Hi. Hey, how are you? I'm David. Nice to meet you. How are you? You're in great hands. He's the best. I'm telling you, really.
Studying for LSAT, and we'll see where we go.
It's great. You got to do it. It's a great profession. You learn so much. It's hard, but if it was easy, everybody would be doing it, right? It's a rite of passage. Study hard. Good things will come. And then when you get into law school, the amount of information you learn, it's incredible. Even if you don't practice. And then you want to set you a bond. I just don't know what. And
do not say anything. Just let them.
I do know that it looks like out of the same transaction, you picked up also 2 aggravated assaults with a deadly weapon. Those are each set at 150,000. So with that in mind, please.
Yes, Mr. Spencer, before they read this, this is your attorney, Alan Williams. Do not say anything. Just let them read the probable cause, okay?
Yes, Judge. On September 18, 2024, officers were dispatched to a suspicious person call in Harris County, Texas. The officers who were investigating and noted the vehicle involved in an aggravated assault matched the description of a truck in a hit and run case. The officer observed a blue Sierra parked on a construction site and observed the Sierra to have a broken right front headlight. The officer ran the license plate and learned the truck was listed as a suspicious vehicle in a failure to stop and give information. The officer met with the owner of the Sierra, the defendant, and the defendant stated he is the owner of the blue Sierra and that he is the only one that drives the truck. The defendant stated that on September 15th, his daughter used the truck and told him she was involved in an accident but did not give any information to the other driver. The officer spoke with the complainant, who stated that on September 15th, he was parked at a gas station and he was pumping gas when the defendant struck his vehicle on the front driver's side. The complainant stated the defendant drove away, sideswiping his vehicle, and the complainant called 911 and followed the defendant as he drove away to a nearby gas station. The complainant stated he observed the defendant almost strike a building while driving in front of the gas station, and the complainant remained in visual contact of the defendant and watched him exit the vehicle and enter the gas station, stumbling while almost falling over while walking. The complainant stated the defendant remained in the store for about 10 minutes before leaving the store, and that the driver of the truck was a white male, and the complainant stated the defendant caused $3,000 worth of damage to his vehicle. And the officer reviewed surveillance video from the gas station and saw the defendant as the only occupant of the vehicle.
Okay. What happened with the egg assaults?
So it was, I believe that when the officers were called for the FSGI, when they were called to that place, I think it was an apartment complex or construction site, they, I think, noted that that was the vehicle that the suspect in the ag assault had been driving at the time of the ag assault, because the ag assault occurred in an apartment complex. I think that's how they connected.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's how they, I guess, connected this defendant,
What was
but it
it?
wasn't out of the same transaction.
Was it though? Did he hit someone with the car?
No, Judge. So the officers were dispatched to an apartment complex. The complaining witness or witness stated the defendant was firing a gun while out of the vehicle. Officer spoke with the complaining witness, age 13, who states that he was walking with friends and observed a Hispanic male sitting in a truck parked on the street, arguing with a black male inside the apartment complex in the gated area in Harris County, Texas. Complaining witness stated he observed the male in the truck pull a handgun and start shooting in his general vicinity. The complaining witness was struck in the knee, requiring medical treatment. I believe a different complaining witness states that he and his friends were near the pool area of the apartment complex and heard gunshots and started running and realized that I guess their friend had been shot in the foot. But yes.
Okay. Do you guys have a recommendation as to a bond?
We're gonna ask the bond be set at $10,000, Judge.
Did you hear that, Alan?
Yes, Your Honor. Given the circumstances, that would be a good one.
You're in agreement then?
Yes, Your Honor. He's currently on a parole hold as well. And his current bond at felony level is, I think, set at $150,000.
Right. So there is a parole hold. So I guess this doesn't, I was going to do a no driving affidavit, but I mean, don't drive. You know, there are happy drivers and then there are people who are not happy drivers. Right? Just don't drive, please. All right. We'll set your bond at, Mr. Spencer, I'll set your bond at 10,000. If you bond out, you must come here. Well, I guess you can't bond out. He's got a blue warrant, right? You know, what's he on parole for? Do you know?
Yeah, Judge, sorry. There's a little bit of criminal history.
Aggravated robbery.
Okay. Thanks. But just don't, you know, I don't know what's going to happen, but if you do somehow get out, please come back here for the next business day for bond conditions. But as a condition of your bond, I'm ordering you not to drive now, regardless. Yeah. Okay. So what we'll do is I guess we'll wait it out to see what happens upstairs. We'll just keep this rolling with that. And at some point, something will happen and then, you know, but yeah. All right. Good luck, Mr. Spencer. All right. Thanks.
Thank you, Your Honor. Also,
so hold on, let's get you a date. The felony is set for 1/8. You want to do the next day?
Yes, Your Honor. That'd be great.
Okay. All right. Good luck, Mr. Spencer.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You requested the 21st.
Oh, yeah, of course. If that's, you want the 21st or do you want the next date? Whatever you want, Alan.
The next date will be fine.
Yeah.
What day?
Yeah, that's
okay. So that was fun. I am gonna redirect y'all over to Hella right now. Give me 1 second. I'll post the link in chat as well, so you can click in case the redirect is messed up, which is always a possibility with me, apparently. So yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, thank you, Half Irish. I'm probably gonna stream Saturday, but I'm not sure yet. Play it by ear. But yep, let's go ahead and redirect you. And I hope you guys had fun. This was kind of a new format and not something I normally do like this, but I think I might continue with it for now. Thank you, Rachel. So I will see you guys later.